Hey, welcome to chapter 14, part 2. Today we're going to talk about how to handle stress, how to manage it. These are the things that kind of fall into the category of, well, that's really easy. Why didn't I think about it? We all kind of know how to handle stress, but I'm going to tell you it's best if you can put it into practice all the time, not wait until you're stressed. One of the best things you can do is exercise. And I know very few people like exercising, but especially cardio. Cardio helps our body in a way some other forms of exercise don't. It helps train our heart how to deal with stress. Think about it. If you've ever worked out and you haven't worked out in a while and you work out and it takes your heart forever to calm down. But if you work out consistently, your heart rate goes down pretty quickly. Cardio also helps us manage cortisol. It releases endorphins. It releases serotonin. So it helps our brain chemistry. It helps us manage insulin. So it helps regulate those changes we feel when we're stressed, our hormonal changes. Yoga also helps. It's more of a meditation thing. Meditation also releases endorphins. It also releases serotonin, and it can also help manage stress. Things like changing your diet. I know for me, I crave carbs when I'm stressed. There's a physiological reason for that and a psychological reason why we crave food. Physiological, when we're under stress, we may have less serotonin, and carbs release serotonin, so that's one reason some people eat their feelings. Another reason, the psychological part, is we tend to associate many foods that we crave when we're stressed with feeling comfort foods. That's where the name comes from. So for me, it would be things that my grandmother used to make for me when I was a kid, like fried chicken, cake, biscuits. And so but it could be different for different people. It's usually whatever foods you associate with happy feelings. Eating your feelings isn't the worst thing you can do, but it is kind of an unhealthy thing to do. It can lead to unwanted weight gain. It can lead to type 2 diabetes. It can cause problems. But it's not as bad as drinking your feelings or doing drugs because of your feelings. That can lead to a psychological addiction. I know a lot of people say during COVID, we're drinking a lot of wine to cope. A lot of my friends were. And so they were like, oh yeah, I'm just drinking some wine. And I mean, granted, we're all at the age where we're probably not going to become addicted to something, but you do have to be careful, especially if you're younger. When I was a therapist I know I just talked about working with domestic violence victims, but I also at one stage of my career was working with teenagers, and a lot of them self-medicated their anxiety and their stress with alcohol and marijuana in particular, and that is a slippery slope to addiction. So it's best just to avoid that when you're feeling that way. Plus, alcohol tends to just magnify whatever feeling you're feeling. So another thing you can do is journal, make sure you get enough sleep if at all possible, make sure that you have a good social support system. All of those things are helpful. Also changing how you view a stressor. There's two types of coping. There's solution-focused coping and emotion-focused coping. Solution-focused coping is like it sounds. Like if you're stressed out about writing a paper, the only way to get rid of that stressor is to write the paper. But let's say you're stressed because you're looking for a job. You've submitted all the applications, you've submitted everything you can do, you've had a job interview, and now you're waiting. Well, there's nothing left to do except wait, which is stressful, so you have to change how you view your stress. And trying to develop a positive attitude is helpful. Also, trying to look at stress as, there's three ways we can look at a stressor. We can look at it as a threat, an opportunity, or neither. So, like when I give my students tests, a lot of them see it as a threat. Oh gosh, it's a test, I'm terrified. And of course that's gonna release all those unhappy chemicals in your brain. That's gonna raise your heart rate. It's gonna not have the desired effect. It's not gonna help you take your test. I would love it if they said, oh my gosh, this is an opportunity to show what I've learned. My mad psychology skills, yay. I'm excited about this opportunity. Yeah, no one ever does that. So at least if you can look at it as neutral, okay, it's a test, I'm prepared, it's fine, it is what it is, I'm gonna get through it. Because at least then you're not in warning, warning, danger, danger, all of your circuits misfiring alarm bells. So those are some simple ways to handle stress. And let's see, okay, so the question for this part is, what do you do to reduce stress? And is it working for you? If not, what do you think you might like to try? And thank you, and I'll see you next week.